Okay, we are ready. We are live.
Hi, welcome to another edition of Off the Deep End. I'm your host, Emmy, and I'm here having another session, another interview with Ivan Teller, Master ET Channeler Extraordinaire. But he doesn't only channel ETs, he channels politicians, higher selves, people who've passed who are notable, like um, was it J. Edgar Hoover, Joseph Smith, catch that one, Mormons, and a whole bunch of other people that you'd like to probably hear about. But without further ado, welcome, Ivan, to the show.
Oh, greetings.
Greetings.
Yeah, good evening. Yeah, but not sure if we're going to channel tonight. We'll see how it goes, if anything comes through.
Yeah, we're just going to have a chat. Basically, what's on deck is skeptics. We're going to talk about the whole process of how Ivan channels when he's at Disney and a whole bunch of other stuff. Apparently, Walt Disney has been connecting to a lot of people in the spiritual community. So, hey, if you guys are wondering what's going on with that other channelers who are not Ivan, maybe you should listen in.
Well, yeah, I wanted to go into, I've been thinking about this for a while, how skeptics are all calling this not real and stuff like that. And one thing I've noticed, I don't pay attention to them anymore, but well, because I have no problem talking to them, but they're not very easy to talk to because a lot of them are very arrogant and angry.
So they're already convinced.
Yeah, you can't even talk to them just as a conversation, so it's not worth it. As much as I'd like to, because I've reached out and video wise and in a nice way, and you just get bitten, harsh. It's like, geez. So it's like, it's not even worth it. It's too bad. But not to convince them, but just to have a, conversation, let's put it that way. But I guess it's not worth it.
You know what's really interesting is that people get so upset about this stuff. If you know it's not true, then it's not true. Like, why worry about it? Why like harp on somebody who's spending their free time to communicate, what they believe is spirit, whether you believe it or not, well, it's your thing, but, there's no reason to get belligerent either. But I think a lot of the people who get upset about people who are in the spiritual community, whether they're channelers or mediums or tarot readers or something like that, is that they're being faced with something that may be against their belief system, and it's hard for them to wrap their mind around it, or it's really difficult for them to see something that may be true, but because of whatever their filters are, it just makes them upset.
Yeah, they get there's some that as my name has come up, and some of them, that's what I'm basically going into some of those. Not naming names, no reason for that, but some can connect to the lines. But some of them are just, they have their mind already set. No matter, they don't believe in God. Some don't believe in spirit guides, and everyone has guides, everyone has angels, and they don't believe in any of that. That doesn't make them go away.
Yeah.
So there's that, and some of them, I guess, are somewhat open, like, or one, or not to name names, but I think even some of them that are fighting back at some of this stuff do believe it's very true, and also even what they're saying as for shutting it down, it's like, oh, this isn't real, whatever. I don't believe them completely when they say this isn't, what I'm doing is real. I think some of them do believe it. They just want to shoot it down because they feel like it, and others are not spiritually ready to connect.
Yeah, I think part of it is that they're not spiritually ready, and a lot of them, some of them, it's their, like I said, it's their filters, or it's their religious filters. Like they
Yeah.
cannot, they've been taught all their lives that, you know, channelers, mediums, psychics don't talk to them. They're the devil, you know. So when they see somebody connecting to spirit, you know, already they have, you know, that in the mindset. Number one, that they shouldn't even be watching it. So they're already bad. And number two, that any of this information is like actually penetrating in their mind, you know. So that makes them even madder because they feel like they've not become resistant to this, that they're being drawn in by, you know, some kind of like evil force, you know, even though it doesn't feel bad, but you know, it's just a battle. I think it's just a battle they have to go through, you know.
Well, yeah, one I saw, this is a while back, calling religious people and spiritual people mentally ill. But yet, all this, you know, I talk about, but still, it doesn't make your guides and angels disappear when you don't believe in any of this stuff. And I think spiritualism as a title, maybe not, we gotta call it something. I don't know, call it whatever you want.
Yeah, I like the spiritual, not religious, because, you know, you get that reaction from people like, what does that mean?
Yeah.
What does spiritual, not religious mean?
There's that. So it's, yeah, so this, as for, you know, it does feel like, yeah, aliens are going, I don't know what's going on next year. Like, as for addictions, you know, they see some entities coming through. It does feel like 2 years, there'll be a major shift, but next year, there are major shifts next year, but also in 2 years. But next year, I'm not sure what the deal is. But they do say visitation of some kind, let's put it that way. So I don't know. See how things.
Yeah, I hear that our new president, once he's sworn in, at least will start, I guess, acknowledging alien visitations.
It's a high possibility.
Maybe it's going to be coming to the point where you just can't, like, you know, brush it under the carpet, sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, eventually, yeah. It does help an official like that to say it and still stay alive will be really good. I don't think anything's gonna happen if he does say anything. Like he'll get, like, you know,
maybe dismissed or something. Oh yeah, here he goes again talking about some crazy stuff.
But you know, I guess we'll find out. But I don't know if it's gonna be next year or 2 years, or in 2 years. Who knows? He's good. It's hard to say, but eventually, once this stuff starts coming into the light, it's going to take a while for it to be fully understood. We're still trying to figure it all out. Well, there's too much to figure out altogether, but
oh yeah, it's like it's a whole. Yeah. I don't know. It's like if you were to study spirituality, creation, and the earth, and that was like your thing that you want to study, you never finish studying. It's like having like a million encyclopedias, and you know, you're avidly trying to find stuff out, and just find out more. And I guess you keep getting the revised version.
Yeah, it does feel like action is in the pipeline of disclosure.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that somewhere, but
yeah.
As for that coming out through messages, at all, I mean, like aliens can channel all their heart's content, which is fine. It'll help people become more positive.
Yeah.
Still, all it comes down to humanity.
Yeah.
It's not their, I mean, they're assisting, but still, we have a lot of growing up to do because of Black Friday adventures and
all of the other holidays that.
Yeah, that was the other thing. That was the other thing I was going to bring up. Yeah, I'm just jumping around. You heard about the Amazon Go restaurant, the shopping. Did you hear about that? Where you can go in there. It's all on your phone. It's a new concept. They're going to start opening them everywhere.
Yeah.
Called Amazon Go. Did you ever heard about that?
Not yet. Is it kind of like AliExpress or any of these other like little websites where like I mean, apps where stuff is inexpensive and, you know, you get
well,
it cheap, but from China.
well, they're testing it right now in Seattle. You go into, it's like a small convenience store. Well, it's like like Ollie, whatever you call Ollie's or whatever.
AliExpress.
It's like the size of that. You go
Mhm.
in, you scan your phone, so it knows
Yeah.
it's you.
Yeah.
And you can go pick items, and it registers on your phone of what you're
Yeah.
picking up.
Yeah.
And then when you can just walk out of the place.
Oh, you know what? They were already predicting something like that, but it was, they didn't necessarily say that it had to do with the phone. But I'm seeing this in a lot of apps, like there's Samsung Pay on the whatever Droid device where you can use it to your phone or whatever to pay for a lot of things right now. But, you know, I heard just in general, just that would happen if, like, you know, for example, we were all chipped in the US or whatever. And I guess like way back when there was like some trials done and there's like a lot of people, the conspiracy theorists were worrying about like some chip or us being chipped, you know, being tracked. I'm like, well, it's not hard to track us. You know, we basically make it easy. So.
Well, this is a store owned by Amazon. This isn't, Samsung is just, you know, a way to pay.
Yeah.
But this thing knows, like, I guess if you pick up an orange, it knows you picked it up.
Oh, wow.
It goes into your cart.
Uh-huh.
It goes into your basket of.
Yeah.
So everything you pick up, your phone picks it up and adds it to your total.
Oh, wow.
If you put it back, it subtracts it.
Oh, wow. But how does your phone know you put it back? I mean, is your phone like fingerprint tracking?
It has stuff on it. I don't know. Yeah, what if you put it somewhere else?
Yeah, exactly.
For this, and just throw it on the floor. I mean, what you still have to pay for it.
Does it have to be like the same shelf? Like that would be confused. Yeah. But if you're lazy like me and you don't feel like putting like, you know, the juice back in the juice section and you put it in the cereal section, then what?
Oh yeah, there's that, and I don't know. They're gonna have security guards.
You ditch your cart, like, you know, you're like, I don't feel like buying this stuff after all. You leave your cart behind.
Well, it has no employees there. They just want to have security guards, probably with guns or something, to shoot you if you steal anything.
Oh yeah, I hope they use tasers and not actual.
I don't know what bullets. But maybe they'll have robots in there, probably eventually. So
probably.
So anyway, that's the shake-up. There's your news brief of the grocery shake-up, because eventually a lot of them will follow that eventually. So
yeah.
They don't have to chip us.
Think of that. Yeah, exactly. They don't have to chip us.
Not yet.
A good enough job, you know.
Yeah. Vocation and all
that.
Google's doing. There's also a movie that's coming out next year. It's called Circle. And it's, if you look it up, it's called, I think it's called The Circle. It's about Google, basically. It's a fictionalized version of it where it knows everything about you.
And Google knows everything about us. Yeah. We have Google Hangouts, Google Talk, Maps, Translator, Gmail, and that's linked into YouTube.
So I guess.
And then you can sign into apps without creating an account via your Google or Facebook. So if it's not Google, it's Facebook. I hear they're getting bought out. I don't know if that's true. There's some rumor about how Facebook's trying to buy out Google or something like that. I don't know. About that. I don't know how, not how true it is, because I think there definitely was talks, but whether it'll come to fruition is another thing,
Oh, that's gonna work. I think Google makes more money, as far as I know. But
yeah, exactly. Facebook is just
just for teenagers and old people like us.
We just need to all, whoever wants to just, I guess, not worry about this stuff. Just find the one corner of the earth, which is probably nowhere, where you just don't have to worry about this stuff. You just basically be somewhere without running water, and I don't know, in a mountain somewhere with the monks.
Well, I think I said it in the past, but I'll say it again. I don't think Google is all owned by the government. I don't think it's run by the government. Of course, I could go wrong, but I don't think so. But there are CIA type of people there. Yeah. And I don't think Google knows about. And they know, but they don't know who.
Yeah. They're not.
Yeah.
They're not completely
Yeah.
like
Yeah. So
caught on yet.
they have that, and of course they have stuff they don't mention.
Mhm.
Imagine they have a lot of creepy stuff. Employees there, they must. Yeah.
Mhm.
But they don't mention, they keep it all quiet. I mean, anybody can tap into your Gmail there, I imagine.
Yeah, like anybody who's like
You know?
has decent hacking skills can
Yeah.
like figure it out.
I mean, if you're working there, it's pretty much like the NSA. It's a version of it, at least.
Yeah, it's the soft version.
But the NSA, I imagine, has tapped into everything because it's a government. You know, what do they care?
Yeah, pretty sure they have that ability. But I
know.
mean, not only them. I mean,
Yeah, not
because
just
you got to think of like
yeah. There's other stuff there.
there's rules and jurisdictions, and the NSA, their focus is foreign surveillance. You know, they have a lot of the equipment and stuff, but they don't have the legal right under criminal law. So under the Foreign Intelligence Surveillance Act, that monitoring of the U.S. supposedly has to be warranted.
Yeah.
Number one. Number two, they would be your CIA, your FBI, your DEA, and those agencies. Now the Department of Homeland Security. So I mean, and they're apparently, just as equipped with a lot of this stuff. So
well,
like,
imagine
a
there's
lot of them are like there's a lot of private companies selling them a lot of like electronics and stuff like that, that do a lot of the similar stuff. I mean, like, not only them, like our police force alone, can you imagine how dangerous that is to get a 21-year-old cop who just got his freaking degree in criminal justice and is like, happy about like arresting somebody? Sometimes I think that they get like, some kind of bonus if they arrest enough people. How sad is that? But
well, yeah, they do, because that's where they get their money from.
Yeah, so they're like, those
guess
tracking devices off the side of the road. How there's like these cops that are just parked for no reason.
Yeah.
On the side of the road, they're just basically tagging like plates and stuff, and then they facial tag as well. And now there's those drones too, which I remember hearing a commentary about that on the Spanish channel. Basically, they're like, oh yeah, they're droning Miami, like no big deal. If you don't have anything to worry about, you're not doing anything wrong. There should be nothing to worry about, But that's what they say all the time, And then slowly but surely, like a lot of our, liberties start like, sloughing away and things like that, So.
Yeah. I guess if it's a revenue, somebody that arrests as long as they bring in revenue, that's what matters most. But anyway.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, they have a lot of technology now. The cops, they have. What is one interesting thing that they do? I think the video footage that they have online or whatever, like I guess that they catch. There's like some repository, I guess, where they can upload this stuff, so it could be readily filed away, But which is great, so that they can log everything. But let's say that those arrests or interactions did not result in an arrest of the person, and so like there's a repository of information of people whose like interactions did not result in an arrest and stuff like that, and this stuff is maintained at a higher level like forever, So.
Yeah. But of course, there's the NSA, then there's probably another version of the NSA that we're not aware of.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think that J. Edgar Hoover talked about that.
Yeah, there's definitely, or there's probably several versions of another version of NSA.
Yeah, the behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes.
Yeah, they don't have a problem getting anything, so.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially with your phones and all that, makes it easier. But anyway,
Yeah.
To change subjects a little bit, enough of that. I want to give people the idea.
3D stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, when I go to Disney and Universal, it's been another thing is to get away from where I live and just tension. It's only an hour and a half away, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
They call it like there's a lot of stress where I'm at that I don't go into from work, and there is a transition I'm going through. Hopefully, I don't have to be at that job any longer, but it's gonna be a while. So the hooks are still there, so for the Disney stuff, what was I gonna go to? Oh yeah, I want to tell people I don't ride anything. I don't ride any of the rides. I just go in there and I walk around channel, then I leave.
Yeah.
We have a water there. I might eat something depending on what. But usually it's something that's hopefully cheap. Of course, nothing cheap at Disney, but there's nothing, barely anything vegetarian at anywhere. Epcot has a place called The Land. They have salmon there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's vegetarian, but it's
salmon. Well, it's pescatarian. Yeah. I guess it's less of what do they call it? Carbon print or something.
Yeah. So I don't know. They have some vegetarian stuff there, but most places like nothing. It's all hamburgers and ugh. Yeah. But if you're into that stuff, that place is great. So anyway.
I like salmon these days with lots and lots of butter.
There you go. Jeez. That's right.
Hey, it's working.
That's good.
Jeez. Yeah, I lost 10 pounds.
Oh, yeah, for the fat diet? That's good.
Yeah.
It's bad you can't just get a pizza and just put a bunch of butter on it.
Well, pizza, I mean, you just have to eat the cheese and the topping and stuff like that and avoid the bread. I hear that people make like a crust out of like broccoli. You can make a crust out of like almond flour. Is like high fat, low carb and stuff,
Yeah.
So there's workarounds. It's just, you have to want to make the stuff.
Yeah, just the high fat. That's definitely. Well, I'm more into the juicing stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't have any time for any of it. Of course, you can buy the juices, and those are expensive. So I don't know. When I win the lottery, I'll start doing that more.
Well, I hear that there is a vegetarian high fat, low carb, which is hard to understand because vegetarian, everything is carbs for the most part. But I guess you can like put a lot of nuts in your salad, and then or just like put a bunch of dressing, like lots and lots of dressing, like olive oil. Go crazy with the olive oil and olives and avocados and stuff. Make little avocado boats.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's good.
Some butter on there.
Yeah, they have a juicer. It's called cold press juicing.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Lasts for 3 days. They have a machine you can buy.
Yeah.
It's like $3,000 or something like that.
Is it faster than the cold?
Yeah. Oh yeah. What they do is they give you packets. And none of that's cheap. And you get packets, and it's just like those coffee. Now the coffee's in those little packets, and you just put it in and it on. Same thing. The juicer, you just have this. I keep it in the refrigerator. Yeah, you keep it in the refrigerator, obviously. It has all the juicing stuff in it, so you just put the packages in there, close it up, hit a button, you got yourself a juice. It's only $3,000. It might be more than that. I don't know how much it is, but so there's one way of getting healthy. Getting healthy is not cheap. But
yeah, definitely not cheap. Well, it depends on what you like.
The butter. Butter is pretty cheap.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. It depends on like the butter, but if you get the Kerrygold's grass-fed butter, that's about $4. And if you're eating a high-fat diet, that might only last like 3 days or whatever.
Can you just eat a stick of butter?
I mean, you can. According to the author of the Bulletproof Diet, his daughter wished for her own stick of salted Kerrygold butter for Christmas. Supposedly did not want anything else. She wanted her own stick, like she couldn't get it from the fridge. right? And so she got it, and he's like, oh, she was so happy she took a big honking bite of butter. I tried taking a honking bite of butter. It's not that great. But everybody's got their thing, I guess, you know?
Well, I guess whatever it takes to lose weight, that's one way to do it. Or, well, exercising at least.
Well, actually, yeah, that's the good thing about this diet is because it's very sustainable because you're utilizing your own fat for energy by sparing the I guess glycogen that's produced from carbohydrates, you know. So instead of burning your carbohydrates for fuel, you're burning your own fat for fuel by sparing the carbohydrates. It doesn't mean that you don't eat any at all. I mean, but it's a low percentage, and that percentage generally comes from greens like salads and cucumbers and vegetables like that. But it does not come from like a pizza or, you know, like the rolls at, you know, Texas Roadside Grill or something like that, you know. And you definitely, yes, of course, like err on the healthy side. But the cool thing is when you're eating this high fat, low carb diet, which is called the ketogenic diet, it's confused with high protein diets. I guess they've been called ketogenic, but really they're not. If you eat a high protein diet, eventually you're just going to get tired and sick of it, you know. This is a high fat, moderate protein, and low carb diet. And so where like, I don't know, for some people it's like 60 to 75% of your calories or whatever macros are coming from fat. So that could be anything from like your avocados, maybe have two, put a bunch of like olive oil on it, you know, sprinkle some salt, have a nice day, you know, or maybe it's like a big, huge like steak or whatever with some garlic butter on it and a side salad. So, you know, it's the cool thing about it is that you feel satisfied. And when you feel satisfied and full and energetic, and you're not hungry, you're able to make better food choices, you know. And but like when you're hungry and tired and just like, oh my gosh, I need to eat, and you know, I'm just tired, let me have some coffee or whatever, reach for that next thing that's, you know, supposed to give you a boost, and then you get a crash. Because what happens is like let's say you have problems with insulin, right? Which I guess that happens with a lot of people. Like not everybody's really good at using their insulin effectively. You know, some people are insulin resistant, which means that they can't. The insulin is basically not doing their job, not doing its job in their body. So this person is basically getting these blood sugar spikes up all day. So they're up and down and up and down. And all the while, they could be eating healthy. It doesn't have to be just starch. It could be from juices. It could be from fruits. It could be like, you know, from eating a nice vegan diet without knowing that you are insulin resistant. And for sparing fats too, because most of our brain matter is made of fat as well. So it's, you know, the optimal thing, I think, for your body to utilize. But, you know, we've been told for many, many years that, you know, fat makes you fat, that fat, you know, clogs your arteries and saturated fats and stuff. So there's been like a game going on with, I guess, humanity for a long time. But, you know, if you go back like 50 years to what our grandparents ate, you know, steak and potatoes, you know, a less refined diet, you know, a less like, I guess, additives, less preserved diet, and high in fat as well. Like very few of them were overweight. Very few of them were overweight. I remember going into like a secondhand store in Virginia where a lot of the clothes were from like the 50s era, and I pulled out a lot of the skirts and they were like 24-inch waist, 26-inch waist. Like a lot of people were like smaller than. And then another thing, I did like volunteer work for the Traveling Vietnam War Memorial that made itself way to Key West. And I remember two things. Very few, if any, of the veterans, Vietnam War veterans, were overweight. You know, some of our military, regardless of how much they work out and then they, you know, bust their butt and stuff, you know, some of them are overweight. And I saw zero of the veterans at the Key West Vietnam War Memorial Wall event that were bald.
No.
That's interesting. Like you know, that was so interesting, you know?
That is so interesting.
Yeah, they all had their hair and they were all, you know, height, weight appropriate, except for maybe one guy, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, that's very, well, even in the 19, or whatever their chemicals they're giving us now is definitely making us screwing up our bodies, that's for sure.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Definitely.
As a pizza was, if that was part of the high fat diet, everybody here would be skinny right now.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
So
and I think that a lot of the things are in our environment, like just kind of slowly just get to you, kind of slowly, like they're slow killers, like you don't notice them. So somebody who's lived, you know, I don't know, I guess anywhere in the 50s and 60s era or whatever, even up to the late 70s, you know, has like less exposure to a lot of these toxins as opposed to somebody who was born in the late 70s to the current time. I mean, look at our kids. Yeah. You know?
It's getting, it's, well, the GMO stuff, the Monsanto and all, they've learned a lot. Obviously from World War II and other was they can give us, so from World War II, obviously inspired.
And then there's the high fructose corn syrup and this low-fat diet that people have been, I guess, sold since like 1984 and all this other stuff, you know.
Yeah.
The thing is, when you eat less fat, you're more hungry, so you're more prone to eat more, you know. And then when you're told not to eat fat, what are you going to eat more of? Starch. And what does starch do? Because it converts into a sugar. Eventually, it's going to make you a diabetic, you know, depending on how your body processes, you know, the sugar.
Yeah, I had a boss. He was like in his late 40s. He was kind of overweight, but he had a lot of stress. He ate ice cream, and then he had diabetes.
Yeah, stress is another thing. Like, we are like so stressed, you know, from like many things, but it's just
financial stress.
Financial stress.
Because in the 1950s, they didn't have any stress. So he's, well, they did, but it's a different kind of stress. But you know,
yeah, we have a lot of
white Americans can own 2 cars, 2 houses, and on $35,000 a year and go on vacation, and it's like, geez, all that's gone.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got like people who should be, you know, enjoying their retirement, working at Walmart, like being a greeter at Walmart, you know, so they can afford their medicines. Like, what's that about, you know? When they should be like, surviving off of whatever Medicaid.
Yeah, and we are going into a robotic age.
Mm-hmm.
Automated age with that Amazon Go store, and it's just going to get. There's something about a universal pay.
Yeah.
I saw somewhere that everyone gets a certain amount of money. I don't know where it's coming from. It's come from somewhere.
Oh, that's interesting. Hey, I bet like if everybody gets a certain amount of money, I wonder if you behave contrary to like whatever the government wants you to behave, like you know, if that will be adjusted. I hope I'm dead before then.
Yeah, hopefully it doesn't happen at all, but you never know. Well, the automation stuff's going to start I mean, they're all afraid of the robots coming in, but the technology wasn't ready at that. Well, at least the version that we see is not ready. There's several versions that we don't see.
Yeah.
And now these companies are innovating to put everybody out of work, basically. Make it more efficient, like the Jetsons.
I mean, like the self-checkout, alone is a good example of, reducing the workforce and, like you can do your own taxes. So that's like, that gets rid of the tax guy and things like that,
Well, now we're getting rid of people that work at the grocery store, slowly.
Yeah, slowly.
Jeez. There'll have people stocking the shelves, and Arnold Schwarzenegger will be there.
Yeah, he can't afford his like mansion anymore or whatever.
Yeah, so. Whoever, or security force will be there, but that's who knows. I guess the person healthy with their phone app will carry around an AK-47 or something. I
don't know. It's so interesting, like how much of this just like. I guess these universal pay and you checking out with your phone or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that 20 years ago, I would never have imagined I could do so much with our phone, or how much of our actions, our daily actions could be controlled, with our phone and social media.
I never thought about it. Oh yeah, when I saw the iPhone, it's like, man, that's not fair to people with no fingers.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, here's your fingers. Like, that's not very nice.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but that would be the same thing with the other phones. What do they need for elbows? Like,
the BlackBerry, it was like so it's funny, Apple, where they're going, they might end up like BlackBerry, where they're going right now.
Yeah. A lot of the diehard iPhone fans, I do give them this. If they have a better camera than my current Samsung Galaxy Edge 7, I guess I'll give them a better camera.
Yeah,
because I use a crappy camera.
It might be a little bit better. I don't know.
On my expensive phone,
Yeah, they're all getting rid of the headphone jack. That's what? Yeah, I think so.
Are we going to have like a private conversation or listen to people, or just listen to our own music so other people aren't listening to?
Well, maybe when humans are being injected with a headphone jack.
Yeah, exactly. You could just dot it.
Yeah, just plug it into your head or something. There you go. That's jeez.
I wonder if they're removing the headphone jack so that you can miss it, and then a few years later they'll roll out with an iPhone with a headphone jack again. Like, oh, we were wrong, and then they get
a boost sales.
Boosting sales. Yeah.
I don't know what they're doing. Nobody.
Oh, maybe because they're only going to make what do they call it? The Bluetooth ready headphones. You think? Yeah.
That's all you need is more stuff going around in your head.
Yeah, exactly. I have enough stuff going around in my head.
We already have enough, and now we need more.
Yeah.
But it does make sense that we're going more into the robotic age.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you saw, this is not the PG version, the sex dolls that are like celebrity versions now.
They're like really real life. And
they just had a news thing about that. So it's like we're going into this science fiction, no job.
Yeah.
So alien stuff coming through makes a lot of sense. We're healing those in this time of like what the hell is going on with us, So it makes
definitely.
Because we're really going to go into good stuff.
It could be healing, but it could be also they're probably going to be, humans will probably be more accepting about the aliens because we're already going through some weird
stuff. We're already
stuff.
going in it, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're living this. I mean, it does really see we're going into that robotics type of. It takes a while to get there.
Yeah. Right. I mean, probably somebody who was born like at the turn of the century, which is 1999, 2000. I say that for anybody who's thinking of 1900 or something, 19 or whatever,
Yeah,
Yes.
if you're born 2000, you're 17 or
Yep. But if you were born in like the late 70s, early 80s, you see a lot of the progression of technology, and a lot of it is spiked in such a short time frame. Like, gosh, I can't believe it's already been, what, about 20 years since cell phones, personal cell phones have become or started to become the norm or whatever,
Obviously,
That's really interesting.
the iPhone changed everything.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like anything's going to evolve. Well, who knows?
Yeah.
But it's like going to stay the way. Phones will get cheaper.
Yeah.
And just control us more.
Yeah. Because everybody has one now. Like, oh, I got my phone. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it how whenever you sign up for an app, or I guess you have app upgrades, it asks you if you can. They can, and they have absolutely nothing to do with your pictures, your contacts, your locations, and all that other stuff. But somehow they want that information. Yeah, like, what do you want this for? You're just my bank, be nice,
Yeah. So it's, who knows what's gathering all that. It's pretty scary. It's going to get more like that,
Monolithic machine.
Yeah, over time, let's see. We're coming to the end of the year. We already did kind of a prediction.
Yeah.
Channeling. And it's kind of vague in some areas, but
somehow it has to be vague, though, because we gotta go on in our own journeys and just figure things out. We can't have all the answers,
we're in the cooker and we're the ones getting cooked, so what's going on the outside, how much they're going to turn it up on us, so
we have to do more videos on stuff or just pay attention to videos of crystals and rocks that'll protect us, make a huge, it's 9:00, by the way, huge force field around your house of quartz crystals. Those organites and stuff like that, I think there's some organite apparatuses where you can generate rain too, in certain areas that are dry. That's pretty nice. So look that up, people. You're welcome.
There's also for money, there's citrine. You're aware of citrine? Yeah.
Oh, I need to get some.
You know about that?
Them away. I didn't know. I mean, I heard it's prosperity, but there's a lot of
money. Yeah, it's supposed to
prosperity.
Yeah, you're supposed to put it. I'm not sure if you can see it.
Oh, that's pretty.
You can put it. Some people put it in their cash registers for businesses and to get more cash. So.
Oh shoot!
Yeah.
I'm gonna wear a bracelet of it. Have it.
Look, you have a whole purse full of it. Yeah, look at that.
A picture of the tree.
Just get a big giant one, put in your purse. Big ones.
Yeah.
Jeez. So.
Hey, if you're a foot model, you can have a citrine anklet or something.
There you go.
There's a following for people who are really attracted to women's feet more than the other part of their body.
Yeah, there you go.
So hey, there's another way to make money, Lace.
Yeah.
Ask for your donations. I don't get that one, but hey, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
Show me the bottom of your feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Foot fetish people, yeah.
Yeah. There's all kinds of weird fetishes. There's the underarm fetish, and then there's,
Well, I live in Tampa. There's a lot of weird fetishes here. It's like living in Oregon or
West Palm Beach.
That's true. That's more upscale. This is more down the drain kind of area.
Yeah.
That's where all the Ritz, the blitzes over here is just the industrial ugliness.
Yeah. I heard that West Palm Beach has a lot of dominatrixes or whatever. So I guess a lot of these upper class elite folk, start feeling guilty that they need to find a lady to beat the guilt out of them or something.
Have you ever been there?
No, I haven't. But I do have a friend that I met when I was in massage therapy school, who was a dominatrix for a little while, and she did some work in West Palm Beach, and she said that she made a lot of money, but when she found out she was pregnant, she changed her life around or whatever. She's like, that was just an angry time in my life, and I guess once she made she got a $4,000 tip from somebody. I mean, she never had sex with any of these guys, but she got a $4,000 tip from a guy who she put in a cage, and she was basically just reading a magazine for an hour. And she had him chained to inside the cage with a collar chained to the cage, and I think he was wearing his skivvies, and he was just basically just, how dogs stare at you. They're just very excited about what you're doing. They're like, oh, what are you doing? So it's just like staring at her. And I guess every now and then he'd say something like, I want to make love to you, you're so beautiful. And then she'd reply by retorting with a negative, malicious comment, but he really liked it. So anyways, she got a $4,000 tip for that.
Yeah, they do have clubs like that. Not like that. They don't cage you up, but
the S&M.
The S&M is there, whipping. Just I don't get any of that.
I don't get it either. Like, why do you want pain? Like, I just worry about these people's
So I've been that good too.
Maybe they just don't care.
So I've been that good. We have to have somebody beat you up. Is that how it works?
Hey, do you think that's like a reptilian trait or something? I know all reptilians aren't weird, but you just like to be rough with each other.
I get it. Well, I think a lot of it's actually Syrian. It can be reptilian. You see Syrian. Is very, some of them are very angry.
Yeah.
Feeling I get. Some of them are, not all of them, but.
You know what's very interesting about Syrians is that I've been told I have a lot of Syrian energy, and I was like, oh, Syrian's great, because I think of ISIS, not the terrorist group, but ISIS, the Egyptian goddess with the wings or whatever, who helped basically, help form Egypt and teach human stuff or whatever. Well, she was from Syria. And so I'm like, well, dang, I'm learning so much more about the Syrians, having some issues and stuff like that. They're mental and stuff, I don't know, relationships.
It seems like, at least from what I feel, is like this. The Syrian worlds are similar to ours in some.
Yeah.
They're way different looking, obviously. Yeah. I do see them with Spock, ears like Spock, but.
Yeah.
I do get that vibe from them, but a different color skin.
Yeah.
Just weird looking in some regards. So, but anyway.
I heard a lot of our pharaohs were actually, the ones with the elongated skulls and eyes, and Nefertiti, for example, and these other pharaohs were actually, there were two, Syrian and Arcturians. Some of them were Arcturians.
I feel like some of them were Orion also. I don't know a whole lot about Orion, but definitely Orion I feel about.
I could see that, especially in the vast animal humanoid species that you'd see depicted on the Egyptian walls, the Anubis, for example, with the dog head, but those were the crooks. So I'm pretty sure they're associated with Orion somehow. And then there's the cat heads and the other heads.
Yeah, well, the animals we have, dogs, cats.
Yeah.
They're all a message I received. Of course, there's different versions of it, but they're here to learn how to be. Well, they're here because some humans are a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Where you are in the universe. I think we're any much exception to that. And they're here to learn about us, learn how we do things. Because they're so different. They're more animal-like.
Yeah.
They're learning the human way. It's I connected in the last webinar, actually it was before the webinar, I connected to a horse with a technology, it's not a cyborg.
Oh yeah,
that technology hooked up to him.
yeah.
Part
Oh,
of
I
the
remember.
society. Yeah, it was
He
very,
was like a horse being from Orion, and
yeah,
he was talking about how they integrated a lot of technology, I guess, I don't know, on
yeah.
them or in
Oh,
them.
it's
And
on
he's
them.
like, but that's okay, but you guys got your phone with you all the time. I guess you're already doing it. Oh,
Yeah.
that's true.
So it's a
Your
different,
telephones, your Wi-Fi,
yeah, it's,
for those that are attached to their remote.
yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's one, I think they're closer to a third density like us.
Yeah,
You know, they're not higher density. It feels like more of a third density, but it's quite fascinating. I thought
yeah,
that for the webinar, I thought they were going to do the Q&A version of it.
yeah.
They didn't have it in them to do it, but
Yeah, yeah. I remember them entertaining. They're like, yeah, this is all the energy we have
yeah,
right now.
they can't. They're a lot of them that come through are, you know, seeing if they can handle it or not, or well, they're getting there.
Mhm.
So anyway, I don't know if you have anything else. I don't have anything else really. But we got our
Oh,
hour.
I remember just real quick. Let's see. You channeled Fidel Castro's higher self
Yeah,
briefly. That was very interesting.
yeah.
So I remember one thing that came out of that is that he's going to basically cross over eventually as an angel, but it's probably going to be to come back to, I guess, you know, basically right some wrongs amongst people he hurt and stuff, you know?
Yeah, there's a lot of darkness around him right now. I don't think he's crossed over. He's
Yeah,
getting there. He has a lot of bitterness.
yeah,
Well, I feel a lot of anger towards others that we're not very. Now he's on the other. Well, he's sort of on the other side. Well, he's in
yeah,
another spirit realm, but
yeah.
I feel him having vendettas against other people over there. Jeez.
Yeah, they got JFK and Ronald Reagan and
That's
all of
true.
succession, and there was the Cuban embargo, which is the longest embargo in the
Yeah.
history of embargoes. And probably what is Nikita Khrushchev? Damn it, darn it,
Who is it?
Nikita Khrushchev from Russia. I think that guy basically backstabbed Fidel Castro. You know, I guess he just kind of like finagled Castro into the missile crisis, you know, or something like that. So he's got a lot of people he's got to be upset at.
Yeah, I bet. Oh yeah, they tried. Well, according to record, tried to assassinate him like 52 times.
Oh no,
Yeah,
that is a huge understatement. It was more like 600.
yeah, and they put that in the news. It's like, oh,
Yeah,
no big deal. We're just trying to assassinate somebody. It's like,
yeah. Like by
go
who?
America, right? Go
Yeah, who
America.
else? Who else? Are we supposed to be like protecting like our neighbors? Don't we like
Yeah.
build partnership capacity? Like why, you know, you try to assassinate another dictator. Who's doing it? Who has the power to actually carry that out? But you know, I think that for a lot of people, for a lot of people who I guess lost a lot of during the revolution and the displacement of family, the reappropriation of land and wealth and all this other stuff. Yeah, there's a lot of negativity by that, and I understand it because my grandparents had to flee Cuba, you know, right after the revolution, and they lost a lot. And you know, however, I didn't grow up with that portion of the family, so I could basically see that situation a little bit more objectively. You know, I could see how the Batista regime was, and the regimes before that were really hurting. You know, basically everybody who was not a rich gangster or American politician. That was basically the Las Vegas of the time.
Yeah.
You know, and it was very racist, and they had slavery there until the 1920s. You know, and you know, who do you think that they were supplying their sugar cane and stuff to? I don't know. But you know, since then, you know, they've got like I don't know if they still do a really high level of education for everybody. They have free healthcare that is focused on prevention. And, they have some pretty great medical schools and these medical battalions that go to foreign countries. They should be focusing on their own if they're broke, to go to help, like, for example, Central American countries that need, like, care in, like, little maybe tribal areas that see no, like, healthcare and stuff. So you could give them a thumbs up for that. But a lot of people say that, like, the regime was getting corrupt towards the end. So I don't know.
But don't worry.
It's a mess.
They'll be putting in McDonald's and Burger King and fattening everybody up and making more like America. So,
Yeah, exactly.
I think when they put Burger King and McDonald's in India, they put all that stuff in India, and all of this, everything just skyrocketed, fat and just diabetes.
Oh yeah. In India, they're so, like, they're known for, like, Ayurveda and a whole bunch of other, like, goodness. A lot of them are, like, vegetarians, and India's so interesting and stuff. Yeah, like, I can't imagine, like, well, I guess I can imagine, stuff, but we'll just pray for everything. And
yeah, we got a long ways to go. We have
definitely.
When our aliens will show up, we'll fatten them up and
we'll give them some GMO hamburgers and GMO fruit. Yeah, they'll probably, like, bite them or something, like hopefully not eat their innards. I don't know.
Yeah, we need a lot of saving, that's for sure.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if they'll. Oh well. So anyway, that's all. Anything else? That's all I have. So.
No, that's it. Thank you, Ivan, for stopping by. And can you tell my listeners where to find you?
Oh yeah, it's ivanteller.com. We have private sessions, or you can submit a question during the website. And also we have webinars twice a week. Every week. I've been doing this for a long time, so still cranking in there. So you go on YouTube and just search Ivan Teller and be able to find me. So, and we have a web app for iPhone and Android. Just search Ivan Teller. That way you can know what's going on conveniently. That way it's easier to connect, hopefully.
And you can buy his t-shirts too.
Yeah, t-shirts also. That's right. And the reason for the web app is for easy access. Something going on. There's a webinar going on. I can just tune right in. So, and there's audio.
Stuff.
Hopefully updated.
Yeah.
For the most part.
All right, Ivan. Thank you for talking to us once again, and thank you to my listeners for listening to another edition of Off the Deep End. See you next time.